latest on Tropical Storm Wutip, which is continuing to intensify this evening with winds now of 50 miles per hour and a pressure of 992 millibars. At 11 p.m. Chamorro Standard Time this February 20th, it was a 5.1 north, 151.7 degrees east. Looking at the CDPS, basing it on a potential landfall in Guam, at worst we could be looking at stage 6 by the time it gets to the Mariana Islands. Right now, over the Micronesian Islands, it is still delivering significant rainfall and, of course, gale force winds. Here's how it looks on the latest imagery here, the wind chart, showing how the tropical storm force winds almost extend as far as Chuuk itself, and we could be seeing tropical storm conditions there very soon, imminently, if not already occurring. It is 163 miles from Wino on Chuuk, 198 from the small island of Pulusuk, 736 from Guam, 763 from Rota, and 796 from Tinian on the Mariana Islands. Here's a look at the Micronesian Islands right now. Typhoon warning for Satawal, typhoon watch for Faralep, which is just to the northwest of the typhoon warning area. Tropical storm warning for all of those other locations as well, further towards the east. So this is what we're looking at on the model run. This is the GFS showing what's expected to occur over the next few days. The storm developing, becoming a typhoon pretty soon in that run, moving off towards the northwest, approaching the Mariana Islands and sideswiping them to the west, could give typhoon conditions to Guam and to some of those other islands as well by the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That's according to the GFS model. Other models do still disagree and take the storm further west, but that's what we're looking at on the GFS for the time being there. Sea surface temperatures are fairly warm, 28 degrees Celsius at least where the storm is right now. It will slowly but surely tail off over the next few days, as will the relative humidity values. At the minute it's a pretty moist environment for the storm, but a lot of dry air lingering in the Philippine Sea ahead of it. Now, this is the wind forecast. You can see the green areas there showing tropical storm force winds approaching the Mariana Islands, and there it is being affected by tropical storm conditions on Saturday into Sunday, and the GFS wants all of those islands to be affected by tropical storm force winds, but that is what you might want to say a worst case scenario. There would of course be the worst case scenario if the storm made landfall on one of those islands. These are the chances of tropical storm force winds then in plain light of day. 88% on Chuuk, 40% in Guam, 22% on Rota, 13% on Saipan, and 8% over in Yap. So all of those areas should be watching closely for this storm. The models, here's a few of them side by side. JTWC wants a Category 3 storm, so does the HWRF and the GFS, so pretty good agreement there. CDCX usually ups it quite a bit, but going a little bit low there. Wind shear is going to remain low to maybe moderate towards the end of that run there. Sea surface temperatures, as mentioned, slight decline, same with humidity, which is obviously the ingredients for a successful storm. Track forecast there. JTWC lingering off to the west because the CMC and the ECMWF want a further west track from this storm. This is some imagery from not so long ago. I think this might be slightly outdated now. You can see the islands of Chuuk State to the north there, the main islands at least. I think the storm is actually level with its longitude now, so I think this imagery is slightly old. But you can see where exactly the storm is, still displaced quite to the south. Not looking quite as good as it did earlier, that's why we've kept it at 50 miles per hour, otherwise we might have gone a little bit higher. But of course everyone needs to continue watching this storm in the next few days. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page, you're probably there already, but if not, subscribe if you haven't so far. You can also find our Facebook page, Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also help the project reach the next level by becoming a patron. It makes us even better, and you can reap your own benefits from becoming a patron at patreon.com/Force13. With a special thanks to these patrons, too many to read out individually, but we thank them very much for their support through the project over several months now. You can also find Force13 on Skype and Fool13 on Discord at extension 9094 for tropical weather chat.